I'm Jamie Hooper with Remax Crest and jamiehooper.com, and today we're here to talk about the current state of the Greater Vancouver real estate market. Before we get started, I'd just like to remind you, if you're interested, to make a comment or like this video, or even subscribe to our YouTube station if you feel so inclined. So the January statistics came in recently, actually just this morning, and I thought we'd just update you and review what's happening within the Greater Vancouver market over the month of January. So sales were 7% higher than the 10-year average, which means we're pretty much in the middle of the road of where January's been over the last decade. We had some real highs and some real lows for the months of January during that, and that one of them was last year, where we are 44% higher than last year. So don't get too excited about that. That just means we're 44% better than really bad. This doesn't mean prices have started to climb yet, although in some of the markets closer to downtown, and especially the downtown market, we're starting to see prices start to inch up. But that takes a period of time. What happened while the market was so slow last year was inventory just kept accruing and accruing. And not as many properties were selling, so there was just growing amounts of homes for sale. It would kind of be like if you bought a whole bunch of food and continued to load your fridge up, but you weren't eating any. Well, eventually your fridge would get overstuffed, and that's what happened to the market. As things picked up in the latter half of last year, inventories have declined, and now we're even starting to see shortages of properties in some areas. So what happens when this starts to happen? We see very busy open houses, which we're seeing in most areas, and we're even starting to see lots of bidding wars again in certain parts of the Lower Mainland. So one of the things that's really interesting is the higher end of the markets are not picking up. And usually as the market picks up, it's like it moves from the bottom on the way up, and it'll carry up into the expensive parts. Why I bring this up is on the west side of Vancouver last fall, the higher ends of the markets were looking a lot stronger than they'd been. And interesting enough, with the coronavirus now taking or wreaking its havoc on the world, we see that it's also Chinese New Year coming up pretty soon, and there's going to be a lot less people coming over here this year. So it'll be really interesting to see if the higher sides of the market pick up again. So what are some of the things that are currently driving the market? Well, the Vancouver market seems to, it always seems to defy logic. I mean, there's a whole bunch of economic indicators that would tell us right now that the market shouldn't be doing as well as it is. But here I've written down 5 things that I thought would be of interest. So number one, we've got low interest rates. I believe a 5-year interest rate right now is 2.79%, and there's talk about it going down to 2.5%. So that could give the market a short-term spike. Pent-up demand. There's been a lot of people sitting around waiting to purchase until the market bottoms out. But the one thing I always tell people is don't wait too long, because there's only one way to know when the market's bottomed out, and that's when it's on the way back up and it's busy, and that appears to be where we are at right now. Number 3 is talk of easing the stress test rules. There's talk, there's a few different things I'm not going to get into right now. A few of the things, well, I will get into it. A few of the things I've heard are, number 1, they're talking about reducing it by 1 full percentage point, or to make it easier and not have a threshold of 5.34, but to lower that down to, at the 5-year rate plus 2% now would be 4.79. That might have some impact on the market. Just a simple fear of missing out, FOMO. People, if there's going to be a short-term spike, well, everybody would like to make, they think, a fast buck on the real estate market. And the 5th one would be typical springtime optimism. That's usually the busiest time of year around the Greater Vancouver markets. We have typically the most buyers in the market, but there's usually the most amount of homes for sale as well. So that's it for now. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to speak some more. If you're interested in knowing the value of your home, just go to vancouverhousevalues.com remaxvalues.net, and the value of your property will be instantly emailed to you. Once again, if you get any value out of these videos and you enjoy them or think they're worthwhile, please just either make a comment, click on the like button, or subscribe to our YouTube station. I'm Jamie Hooper with Remax Crest and jamiehooper.com, and we will be back to speak with you soon.